Thank you so much for joining me on my very first episode of What's Up, Chris. I am the host of this podcast, and it's really exciting that you took the time to join me today when you can be investing your time anywhere. So I just kind of want to hop into it. The focus of this episode is just the topic of being scared shitless in pursuit of your dreams and your goals. So what I want to do is I want to start at what took me so long to... No. Okay, so this process is absolutely the most difficult thing I've ever encountered in my life. And I think it's ultimately because I'm pouring so much of myself into this. Of course, being a mom is really important. I pour a lot into that. But that's something that, that's not optional. This is technically an optional dream of mine. I enjoy speaking with people. I enjoy learning about people. I enjoy life in general. And so I want that to translate into a really good experience for my listeners and my viewers. And I did not realize the amount of energy and effort that it takes in pursuit of any dream. I don't think it's anything specific to podcasting. I think it's just whenever you are trying to accomplish something that's outside the norm of what you see other people doing, which is kind of clock in, clock out, got my check, paying bills, and that's about it. Sometimes I go on vacation. This is more expensive than I ever anticipated because I want it to be professional. I want it to be a good experience again to my listeners and my viewers. It's very costly as far as time. So I punch in at my job. I do my job well because I feel like whatever you put energy into, you need to be excellent at it. So in addition to pursuing my dreams, I'm still excellent at the job that I have, okay? So that's energy being spent. Now I'm spending energy into my dream, which is actually even more energy than what's paying my bills right now, okay? I have 2 desks in my house. I have one for the job, and I have a whole other desk set up for my passion, okay? And it's interesting. I literally get up after I punch out at 4:30 or clock out at 4:30, and I walk across my living room to my other desk. And that's all the furniture I have because I'm so driven to do this. I don't want any distractions. I still have a son that I have to take care of, so I still have to cook for him. I have to make sure he's doing his homework. He's not watching inappropriate stuff, but I'm constantly working on this, and it's exhausting, but in a good way. So it's scary because you can do all of this, and it's like I know that God will bless my efforts. I can do all of this, and then it's like, what if it fails, right? And then I have to tell myself, if you touch one person because you said something that was relatable, that's worth it all. That's worth it all right there. And again, it's all about helping initiate conversations that maybe we're not having, So I'm really excited. And it's really scary. And I want to talk about something else, too. This is really important. It's really important because I think this affects people in many more ways than we anticipate as far as going towards your dream and your goal. I have struggled with weight. And I say struggle. I struggle because technically I like to eat, right? But what I like to eat may not help me lose weight, okay? And so, okay, that was just me being silly. But yes, it's true. So, I may want to eat some hot Cheetos or something like that, which I shouldn't be eating, right? But in addition to that, after having my son and the type of medication I have to take, it doesn't prevent weight loss, but it doesn't promote weight loss. So it's like I get to a certain point, it's like I just plateau, right? And I could be better, being honest, as I need to work out, and I am starting to eat better, definitely eating cleaner. I have fruits and veggies and shrimp or something like that. I'm cutting out some red meat, and I don't like chicken, so it's mostly going to be fish and whatnot. Anyway, it prevented me from starting the path to this dream, this passion for a long time. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, but I didn't want to do this at like the weight that I'm in right now. And I'm being transparent because I've talked to people who don't do even things that aren't camera facing because of the insecurity of their weight. Like there's like, oh, everybody can see my extra hair and this, that, and the other. And it really has stifled me as far as my growth and what I want to do in life. And it's like at this time, it's like I'm recognizing, well, one, you haven't done enough to remedy the issue, but you're still passionate about this. So why don't you just work on it at the same time? So in addition to working on my career and my craft, I'm also going to be working on feeling more confident and comfortable by making sure I take care of myself. So that's something that makes it scary too, because I don't like being, the size that I'm at right now, but I also don't want to not pursue my dreams. And so it's like, I wish I could just wake up and be the size that's right for me, but it's going to take too long. It's like the time is now to take care of my dream and my goal and everything. So I hope that that's encouraging to somebody because, we don't have a guaranteed amount of time to be here. So it's like you still have to live through your insecurities. You still have to press forward and things like that. So that's something that really makes it scary is because, it's it could be a nasty world out here and people can say all these nasty things. And I just, wanted to make sure I was in position where that wouldn't have to be a concern of mine, but it is. And I just don't care anymore because I'm going to live and I'm going to, again, follow my dreams and stuff like that. So it's scary being a parent. This is something that is kind of makes me a little emotional because my son, if you know me, my son means everything. I mean, he's my Sour Patch Kid. I love him immensely. He's so smart. He's so talented. And sometimes, he's already dealt with the fact that he's lost a parent. And so sometimes it's very stressful for me because I feel like all the hours I'm pouring into my passion, I'm taking away from him. So trying to find that balance as to I have a job, I have a passion, and I have a child. Balancing that has been ridiculously difficult. So I try to keep him as close to me as possible. Like we might be doing two different things, but I'm like, hey, why don't you set up your station with you watching your program or playing your games right next to me working. And I also want him to see that. I want him to see the effort and energy that goes into pouring into your passion because I want him to be that passionate about something in his life. So, like I said, just balancing that being a parent thing is just really crazy. As a matter of fact, I didn't have a sitter and, I just had to pray to God that, the gentleman who, was okay with me even having him here. I mean, there's COVID everywhere, So that was very stressful, And so I had to say, you better shut up and be quiet. All that, sit in the corner and just eat your food and don't get stuff everywhere. And so it's just like by the grace of God that, I'm still able to do what I have to do. And it's not always ideal. It's not always beautiful. We were running really late today. So it's just all of that. And you just rush in here and you're like, but I want this to be perfect. And I had a little bit of a breakdown because it's not perfect. And it's really being imperfect is a way of being perfect as well because, like I said, I want to be transparent. I want to be authentic. So there's that. And, it just, again, is really scary. When you are in pursuit of your dreams and your goals, it's scary also because of the financial toll that it can take. I was really trying to figure out, well, how am I going to be able to afford this? I could try to get all the equipment that's necessary. I could take some classes on editing. I could do all this other stuff, which that adds up. Okay. I can invest in studio time. And at first, when I was looking, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to afford that. There's just no way. And then I started thinking, what do I waste money on every time I get paid? I can tell you the very first day I get paid, I waste about $100. I don't know what happens. I don't know. It's just like it literally jumps out of my bank account and just goes to wherever the hell it goes because I'm not paying attention to some of the choices that I'm making. And so I was thinking like, well, if about $100 vanishes almost into thin air, then clearly I can budget better to be able to pursue my goals and my dreams. No, I'm not going out. Restaurants are open, which is really weird to me, but they are. Of course, I like to go out to eat. I'm not doing it though because I have something else that's more important in the in the long run. So I'm pretty much taking an L socially, but that's okay because again, this is exciting and I'm reinvesting in myself. I'm reinvesting in myself so I can reinvest in my community and all of that good stuff. So that part's really exciting. So I'm not going to be at the bar, which I don't know why people are rushing to get there so fast. We still are in the middle of a pandemic, but I'm just not focused on those type of trivial things right now. But I'm not being judgy. Everybody live their best lives, but I'm just saying when you are thinking that you want to pursue something or like everybody's on this, I don't want to work a 9-to-5 kick. Well, that's great, but understanding that not working a 9-to-5 means that you're going to be working more than 9-to-5. It's a lot more hours actually go into it. And I do have experience, and I think that that's what makes it scary is that I actually do have experience putting yourself out there when I was pursuing cosmetology full time. I went to school and I was so excited. I'm going to be real. My sister-in-law, she's pretty badass. She is a cosmetologist. She's amazing in Tempe, Arizona, in the Phoenix metropolitan area. She is phenomenal at natural hair. She's amazing at processed hair, licensed cosmetologist. And I saw what she did, and it was so dope. I was like, okay, I ran into a situation where the career path I was on was no longer going to work out. I'll speak to that in a different podcast. It's a really interesting story. But so going from corporate and banking to I'm gonna become a cosmetologist. Mind you, the only thing I could do is brush hair. I didn't know how to cornrow. I didn't know how to do anything. But I just loved going into the salon and the vibes that were there, and it was creative. So I go to Paul Mitchell School of Phoenix, which was amazing. Worked with some amazing people and learned so much. And then I thought that once I graduated, I was gonna be, live my best life like my sister-in-law. Forgetting the fact that she has been in this industry for 14 years before I even entered that industry. She is a master of her craft. She can do the styles and she could do the treatments in her sleep. She has put so much energy into her craft, and I didn't realize what it took. It was so humbling, trying to get clientele. It was a very humbling situation. It was like I'm going around passing out my cards, when I go to church, putting the flyers on the cards and all of that. So I know what sacrifices are necessary in pursuing a goal and a dream. I am very, very talented. I'm a good hairstylist. I'm not passionate about it. So I think that that's why I didn't go as far as I may have thought I was going to as soon as I got out of cosmetology school. I am licensed in Michigan and in Arizona, so I make sure that I'm licensed wherever I go because nobody will ever prevent me from being able to make money to make sure I can take care of myself and my son. So I always make sure that they're current, and I do. I work with clients on occasion, but this is my passion. This is my focus again. So I know now what she did to get to where she is. She put in those hours. I'm reading books all the time. Podcasting for dummies, that's a good one. Watching videos, humbling myself to even look at younger people and how they're navigating through this experience and things like that. Ultimately, you got to be on the humble and you got to put in the work. And it's hard and it's scary. I'm being vulnerable, but I'm being real. And it's actually really fun. If you know me already, I like to talk. So this is like perfect, but making sure it's of quality for people to want to listen and to attract and to be able to get the message out there is really important. So, okay, I want to also talk about another scary thing that happens when you're walking in your path and when you're actually owning, what you're supposed to do in life. It's this weird feeling you get when you're actually in pursuit of something that you can do or you feel like you should be doing as opposed to what people think that you should be doing or what's the most comfortable thing, So I'm going to give a little experience that I had. And at first I was really embarrassed by it, okay? But then what's really scary is that when you ask God to bless your efforts or when you realize that you're walking in the path that you should, and you talk to God about it and you ask how you should get there, what happens it happens so quickly. Okay. I was like, this is it. I'm gonna do it. I told some of my family members, a couple of my friends, I said, hey, this is the year. Honestly, because too many people are dying around me, and I'm like, we don't know how much time we got left, so I'm just gonna do it. Okay. And so instantly I felt this release. But then I was like, wait, now I'm telling people I'm gonna do this, so I got to do it. And it puts like a pressure on yourself to make sure you're on it. Because I'm also known as a person that starts stuff and I don't finish. I'll start a diet. I'll be like, yes, keto for life. And then like 2 days later, I'm back to eating crackers, or I do want to run like a 3K, 5K, whatever. But it's like I'll start the process and I'm like, oh God, like that was too much. So anyway, I'm kind of used to being the person that starts stuff and didn't finish. So now I put this pressure on myself, and so I'm like, I'm going to do this. Well, in the interim, a friend of mine told me about this job that was hiring. So I was like, oh, I got this in the bag. Like, it's a no-brainer. Clearly, I know how to do this job. I've been doing it forever. But I've been doing this job. Listen to me. I've been doing this job. I've been doing the same thing over and over and over. So I know I'm hella qualified for this position. And then I got humbled. I didn't get the job. I got the offer, but they had to rescind the offer because of another topic for a different podcast. So you'll be interested in knowing like what caused me to, have them rescind that offer. But anyway, it was like, whoa, this job was going to pay me so much more money. And technically, I did research as to, okay, I'm just going to tell you. I got a DUI in 2007, okay? And it was a felonious DUI. If I would have had an attorney, it would have probably been thrown out or whatever, but me being ignorant, I was very, very, very young. I was 22 years old. I didn't know my rights, in a new state. Now I know, always familiarize yourself with your surroundings, but got the DUI. It was a felony DUI. And I've been able to get really good jobs in spite of it, So like I said, it was a no-brainer. Like I was going to get this job. And I did research, would this type of felony affect me from being able to get this job? No, it shouldn't. But they called me back and they said, hey, after review, et cetera, we're taking the offer back. Now, I was pissed and emotional. I'm like, how dare they? How dare they? I was going to call them back and tell them about themselves. But you know what? It's scary because I know that God allowed that to happen. I'm not saying God caused that to happen, but God allowed that to happen because if I would have taken on that job, I would not have the time. I would have had more money, but I would not have had the time to do this podcast and to pursue my dreams, my goals of touching people and having people reach out and touch me, affecting lives and things like that. And I'm happy. Now I just work more overtime at the job I'm at. But even with that, like I'm allowed to, with all this craziness going around, when I had to go get my son from school and this and the other, like I can take that moment. So the job that I'm at right now, is helping me get to where I want to in my passion and this career that I've chosen for myself, that I'm being blessed with. And it's scary, like I said, because as soon as you decide that you're going to do something, some doors will be closed and some doors will be open that you never would have imagined. So being knocked on my butt and humbled, first of all, was a reminder too, I better get an attorney now and get this stuff remedied so I don't block my blessings in the future. But doors have opened. I've reached out to some people, which I'm super excited about. I reached out to some people and they're like, hell yeah, I'll be on your podcast. And, I'll plug you with other people just because of the rapport that I have with people and them knowing that I'll put forth my best efforts and everything. So this is a good time for me to segue into some things that we're going to talk about. I'm excited because the next couple episodes, I'm not sure the order, so don't hold me to it because this is a process. But I'm going to have a young man, a Black politician on the show, and that titled is going to be minority millennials in politics. So I'm really excited about that, especially in the climate that we're in. There's a gentleman who teaches the CPL classes, and he's the personal trainer. He's going to come on because he has very strong views as to black on black crime and why that deserves way more attention that we're investing in the police brutality and different things like that. So I'm really excited to talk to him because I'm in agreement to some of it, but I also, we have strong views on both sides of that conversation there. I also am having a current Christianity episode. That one's going to be pretty dope because my dad, that man does not play, but we definitely have two different outlooks as to Christianity and things like that. And that's going to be a really good episode because it's important to see the dynamics of people in our age group and our demographics and their relationship with their parents, and how sometimes, because of where they come from and where we are versus how we're raising our children, that changes the way or how religion influences us. So I think that's something that's going to be really dope to talk about, and maybe that'll lead to us being more understanding with our parents and them being more understanding with us. So that's going to be exciting. So that's just a couple of snippets. I just want to say thank you. This was real rough and real fun. It was definitely a journey with me getting to this point to be able to finish an episode, to get something out to you so you know who I am before I start popping on the heavy stuff. And I appreciate you again taking your time joining me on my very first, mini episode of What's Up, Chris. And there's so many exciting things that are coming in. You'll get the previews in a timely fashion. So thank you so much for joining me on What's Up, Chris. You could have spent your time anywhere, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.